good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
And put on a coat because it's cold
It
outside.
is.
It's supposed to be below freezing tonight.
Is that Groundhog Day reference?
Yes, it's Groundhog Day. Yeah. All right. So we are back to our prayer lessons, and we have a neat couple coming up with today's and tomorrow's that are kind of connected. So today we're going to look at a topic, and then tomorrow we'll look at one of the prayers in the Bible.
Under that topic.
Yeah, that's on that topic, yes.
So last time, if I remember correctly, we talked about humility.
Yeah.
And this time we're going to take not quite a reverse approach, but something pretty similar, and we're going to talk about boldness or confidence.
Yeah, those seem like
Yes.
very different. How can we have humility and
It's
boldness?
a very hard thing to balance in prayer where you keep in mind, I've got to be humble. I'm talking to the single most powerful being ever, and he is willing to listen to me. And I need to slow my roll and chill and realize exactly how small I am compared to him.
Yeah, and that should definitely humble us.
Yes.
The fact that he's willing to listen.
On the other side of
amazing.
things, with this lesson, we've got to see also that as Christians, as people who are able to talk to him, we are his children. And as that, just like when I'm talking to you and I need something, I shouldn't be afraid to come up to you and say, like, hey, it's another day. I need some food. Or just whatever's going on that you're my dad, I need some help with this. So we don't need to be afraid because while he is the most powerful being ever in the universe, he is also our father.
Or outside the universe.
Yes.
Anywhere.
Ever. Of all time, of anything. He is.
Because he created it all.
Yes.
So, I mean.
Yeah. He is the alpha, omega, start all, end all of everything. So, to look at this, we're going to see Hebrews chapter 4, verses 15 through 16. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but one who in every respect has been tempted as we are, yet without sin. Let us then with confidence draw near to the throne of grace, that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in times of need. So we don't need to be afraid. We can have confidence and we can be bold while talking with God and asking Him for things because Jesus went through the same things that we're going through. And if we're in the middle of something, He's right there with us. So we don't have to be afraid. We can boldly come before the throne of God and just say, here's what I need.
And in some translations, there where it says confidence, some translations that translate that boldness.
Yes.
It doesn't, and one of the things that sometimes I think that we confuse is we think that boldness is somehow disrespectful. But it's not really. I would much prefer, as a father, I would much prefer my children to come to me boldly and tell me what they need than to just continue trying to do it themselves when they're unable to.
So that's never happened.
No, never. No one's ever been trying to climb up on the counter to get, a cereal bowl out of the cabinet and fallen off or something, anything like that.
Did I miss something this morning?
No.
Okay.
Not today.
Okay.
I don't think that happened today. Somebody. I won't say who. Might have done something similar to that.
I don't remember that happening.
You don't remember falling off the cabinet and slamming into the back of the. You were like up on the counter and fell and slammed into the. Anyway, just ask for help. Ask for help if you need it. Have the boldness, and sometimes we do. Our lack of boldness is a lack of confidence. It's a lack of understanding that God not only wants to listen to us and is ready to listen to us, but wants to answer us. Now, obviously, sometimes that boldness is rewarded, and sometimes the answer is no. I mean, obviously, if my kids come to me, it's, 10 minutes till lunchtime, and they say, Dad, can I have an ice cream bar? And we say, no, we're fixing to eat lunch. You can't have an ice cream bar right now. But what we need to think about is in 1 John 5, verses 14 and 15. I wanted us to think about this because John says, "This is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. And if we know he hears us, whatever we ask, we know that we have the petitions," this translation says, "that we desire from him." We know that if we're asking anything that's according to his will, he'll give it to us. Now, sometimes maybe our boldness is lessened because maybe we know deep down that what we're asking for isn't really what's best for us or what God wants
That can
for
be
us.
tricky.
So that could be part of it. But the Bible certainly tells us some things that we can know are his will and that we can know we can ask for and he'll give us. But anything that we ask him for that's going to be helpful in making us better Christians, in spreading the gospel, in helping others learn about him, anything that's going to further his will, we know he's going to do that. So, but
Another track on boldness is it's honestly sometimes a faith issue. James chapter 1 verses 5 through 6 says, "If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given him. But let him ask in faith with no doubting. For the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea that is driven and tossed by the wind." So I know it's not the same as boldness, but we do need to ask with faith. Because if we're doubting whether or not God's even able to hear us, much less whether or not He's going to answer us and grant our request, then if we don't believe in Him that much, what makes us think He's going to do anything for us for real?
yeah, this is the thing. It drives me crazy in movies, and especially a lot of the faith-based films. You've got somebody out there that says, "Well, if there's a God up there, if you're really up there, then do this for me, and then I'll know you're up there." That's not the way that works. If we believe in him first.
Yes.
He is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him, not of those who just throw it out as, "Well, if you're there, help me out here." But people who actually have faith in the first place, Hebrews tells us.
And I know faith is kind of overemphasized. We believe, I think, in the outside world where it was like, oh, you just gotta have faith. You just gotta have faith. You just believe and it'll all be fine. It'll all work out. And while that's not the case, it is true that in Christianity, there are a lot of things that are faith problems. I was talking to a guy about my problems at one point, and I was like, I don't know how I deal with this. What's my real issue here? And he was like, you got a faith problem. How is faith connected to what I've got going on here? It's entirely unrelated. But once he got into it, I was like,
Yeah.
that is a faith problem. And so I feel like in a lot of ways, we see everybody outside going, you just got to believe, you just got to have faith. That's all there is to it. And we kind of shy away from the fact that, well, yeah, you do just got to have faith sometimes.
Yeah.
And this is one of those times where sometimes with prayer, you got to have enough faith. Yeah. And that's a hard thing to measure, too.
It is. It's hard to know exactly where you stand, but let's all work on that and work on believing that, first of all, believing that God is, believing that God wants to hear us, believing that God can do what we're asking him to do, and then believing that if we are asking according to his will, he will do what we're asking. And again, we're talking about, if it's against his will, then he's still not going to do it, no matter how much we believe, because he's just not in the business of granting us wishes like a genie or something. That's not the way that works. But we can come to him confidently, knowing he's there. He wants to hear us. He wants to help us. He wants to give us all the good that there is. Johnny Ramsey used to say, "No one has ever gotten all they could have gotten from God, because no one has ever asked him boldly enough.
I know there's the verse that says he is able to do exceedingly abundantly beyond everything that we are able to ask or think.
Yeah.
And you just think about that. If he can do exceedingly abundantly above what we can think,
Yeah. Anything we can imagine.
anything we can imagine,
He can do more.
He can do more than that. Then why are we so tiptoe through the tulips about what we ask of him?
Walking on eggshells,
Yes.
afraid to even.
The most that we can ask of him would be in a drop in the bucket compared to how amazing and powerful he is.
And how much he wants to do for us.
Yes.
So, but we are actually, on tomorrow's lesson, we are going to look at someone who was very bold in
Very
asking,
much
and yet that boldness, because what was asked didn't work out quite the way they hoped.
It kind of worked out, but there were some issues.
Yeah.
You'll see tomorrow.
Yeah,
If you
we'll
come
get into
back,
that. Yep.
better come back.
All right. Well, goodbye. We'll see you
Bye.
tomorrow.